like rings. They're very flat. It's almost as if we're looking at them on edge. And, you know, I ran inside. I thought, no, it's just a star. And I have a computer-generated star map. I can tell ahead of time what stars are going to be in the background.
Right.
And there was no star there. I mean, just nothing. There's a couple of stars that show up in the frame to the right of Hale Bopp, and those showed up, but this big bright thing did not show up. And I checked the date on my watch, I checked the date on the computer, and looked at the pictures coming in again. On the computer, I have a CCD imaging system, and my heart starts going faster and faster and faster, and I realized this is amazing. I'm photographing something that's actually out there, that's big, and I don't have much of an observing window for Hale Bopp here. It's about 30 minutes. But I saw it that whole time. I have perhaps 100 pictures of it.
What could it be?
Well, that might be an area for Courtney to get into, Art. I have no idea.
All right, whatever it is, it would roughly, if it's in the same area as Hale Bopp, would be roughly to scale it about 4 times the size of Earth.
And that's real rough. It's certainly larger than the Earth. That's a rough guess. I'll have to go over my pixels later and measure it more carefully.
All right, so if people want to see this image, it's on the website right now, and they can take a look, and we're going to talk to Professor Brown. I just wanted to get you on the air, Chuck.
Thank you, Art.
To let everybody know exactly what you have taken. And by the way, folks, most discoveries of this nature are made by amateur astronomers. Is that not true, Chuck?
Oh, that's absolutely. We're the only ones with enough time on our hands.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Art.
Take care. So there you go. That's Chuck in Houston, working for the FM side of our affiliate there, KTRH. That photograph, ladies and gentlemen, is now on our website right now, and they can take a look, and we're going to talk to Professor Brown. I just wanted to get you on the air, Chuck.
Thank you, Art.
To let everybody know exactly what you have taken. And by the way, folks, most discoveries of this nature are made by amateur astronomers. Is that not true, Chuck?
Oh, that's absolutely. We're the only ones with enough time on our hands.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Art.
Take care. So there you go. That's Chuck in Houston, working for the FM side of our affiliate there, KTRH. That photograph, ladies and gentlemen, is now on our website. We're going to ask Courtney Brown here in a few moments what it's all about. Maybe he can help. I suspect he can. In addition, up on the website, something very exciting from the good people at Strange Universe through their auspices and those of a listener out there someplace or another. There are 4 totally remarkable photographs of what is said to be a dead chupacabra. And if it is not, then you tell me what it is. They are quite sharp. Taken from video. I talked to the people at Strange Universe earlier today, and they were going to bring me a video, but somebody ahead of time sent some still photographs, and we've got them. And they're up there. You tell me what that creature is. I have no idea. So to see the new chupacabra photographs, the photograph of Hale Bopp that we're about to talk about, the UFO in Central California that is absolutely remarkable, the demon seeds, all on my webpage right now, www.artbell.com. You will find a link up there to the Farsight Institute. That is Professor Brown's webpage. You'll find a link there, and you will see his remarkable announcement, I should say, with respect to Mars. And right now, back to Professor Courtney Brown. Professor, did you hear Chuck?
I heard it, and I was actually delighted. He was a delightful guest and had lots of information from an astronomical point of view.
Well, Professor, what the hell is that?
Well, this goes back to one of your questions. Do you have professional remote viewers that do they target things together, and do they do it in coordinated fashion? Well, after I went to I was notified about the picture that was on Mr. Schrammick's website earlier today, and the first thing we did is we called up 6 of our remote viewers, and we need 6, two each in order to do a session. We have a monitor that makes sure the session is going, everything's kosher in the session, and then the viewer, his or herself, 3 pairs, and we had 3 sessions that came in during that time. And literally they started around 8 o'clock. Actually, they started around, to be honest, they started around 9:30, 10 o'clock Eastern Time, I believe. And the sessions literally just came in. And just before your show started, or actually as your show was starting just tonight, the 3rd session literally came in over my fax, and I have them in front of me. And we have 3 professional sessions of that object, that anomalous object that's trailing Hale Bopp. It's a fascinating thing. You know, if we weren't so good with this remote viewing with regard to other targets, verifiable, completely verifiable targets, people would say, hey, you know, what's going on? This has got to be just junk. But you can't ignore this stuff if you look at the rest of the stuff that we do that's up on our webpage, www.farsight.org. I mean, if you look at all the stuff that our students do with regard to describing, verifiable targets, the Great Wall of China, the Eiffel Tower, whatever they could be, when we use these same exact procedures with professionals, we get very, very good results. So I have it, and I am willing to tell you as soon as you want me to tell you.
Tell me. What is it?
Well, I've got 3 sessions here, so I've got to go through I got to go through 3, but I'll give you one. This is a very, very competent viewer that's done spectacular stuff for us. There's a lot of information. This person's mind extended out to that area, as we do in remote viewing, and gathered information across time and space to make sense of this thing. Now, I understand this was done under blind conditions, meaning the viewer was not told what the target was.
Right.
A set of random numbers that were generated from a random number table or a computer program were given to that person, and only the monitor knew that those numbers meant this anomalous object that was trailing the Hale Bopp. Moreover, our procedures are so rigid that absolutely no cues, no suggestions are given to the viewer with regard to what the target is. The viewer's subspace mind, the soul, has instantaneous awareness, because it's omnipresent, that those numbers mean whatever the target really is. But the physical, conscious, electrochemical brain, the mind, the physical mind, has no idea what that's about. So the procedure, the viewer goes through the procedures mechanically and just writes down all the information that's related to those numbers, and then comes out with a complete descriptive information about this. Now, the information I'm going to give you is so far-reaching, so incredible, that you're going to be saying, how could this be? But you must understand, the soul is omnipresent, the subspace mind, and the subspace mind can extract all related information, and it comes out in an extremely fast flow, and it's written down. So I'm just going to read you things that the person wrote down.
Well, I guess I'm whatever you're going to say, I'm not going to consider it that incredible. You don't suddenly see objects 4 times the size of Earth, or even twice the size of Earth, appearing like that.
I should also add, Art, that when we heard about this object, we have friends. I'm a PhD. My webmaster's got a PhD in physics. We're all of an academic orientation, and we called up. One of our people called up a professor of astronomy at one of the nation's leading, absolute top 10 leading universities. A close personal friend, a professor in astronomy, and asked what's going on. And this professor of astronomy corroborated everything that Mr. Schrammick just said.
All right, well then that's another source, because he contacted Richard Hoagland, a guest I've had frequently, and Richard Hoagland apparently has been getting calls on exactly the same thing. Yeah, so obviously there's something to this. This
object is approximately 4 times the size of the planet Earth, and it's headed our way. And that's basically it. But I have now. I don't know how your commercial break is, but I'll start right now.
Well, all right, go ahead.
Okay. Wherever there are beings, they organize themselves, and we now know that in the galaxy out there is something called a Galactic Federation, a council.
Yeah.
And this remote viewer went on to describe this. I'm going into the middle of the session. There's a lot of preparatory stuff that I'm just simply going to omit because of time.
Fine.
And this person perceived that this Galactic Council or some higher order was watching, very interested, like they were watching a hologram unfold. It's like watching an election return or something. They are all seated around a table in subspace. I'm looking at a 4D or something like that. They're very serious about this event, which may be happening, going in a direction which is not that this event may go in a direction which is not evolutionary, but only time will tell, and time is of the essence, and many things are happening. By the way, the person did, of course, the stuff I'm omitting is accurate descriptions that the person did of this object and so on like that. Now,
well, I'm not sure I want to omit that.
They're coming. They're more accurate as they're coming.
All right.
I'm on page 11, and it's a 40-page session, so I want to make sure I cover the most important stuff.
All right.
Okay, and I won't omit anything that's really important. He perceived immediately that there was a vortex, something spinning, and then he perceived that there were people on the ground here that were looking up, and there was some structure. And the idea of astronomers and others looking up into the sky, looking at some structure up there. And there was also something going on in subspace. There was an attempt to communicate. This is fundamental. There was a message being sent to someone who is listening but not hearing. It is essential that this person or persons wake up and listen now. Help will be there when he does.
So somebody here is being sent a message.
Us. The interpretation of this is
us, collectively us?
The interpretation of this session so far is that the message is being sent to us. We're listening but not understanding.
Professor, is this message coming from this object?
Yes, and it's also being coordinated by this larger galactic council. I reviewed all 3 sessions, so I'm pulling things from all 3 sessions.
All right.
That's very clear. There is a large object out there. It apparently is both. It has tunnels in it. It is both technological, artificial, and natural in the sense that it has rock as well as metal in it. It's humongous. It's absolutely large, and it is apparently moving in artificial means. It's not moving like a normal celestial body means. It's under control. It's a vehicle. It's moving, and it's 4 times the size of the planet Earth. This is a big E.T. thing. One thing you must say about the E.T. is that when they decide to put on a show,
oh boy,
they know theater. They know theater. This is better than anything on Broadway.
Yeah, it works for me. This is better than ID4.
I tell you, and but the good news is that we're not being invaded. But that'll come to us later. But the basic idea, and I will come as you give me permission during this 5 hours. I will come to the descriptions of the tunnels and everything else on the thing.
Really?
But just right now, getting to the heart of the matter of what the thing is about. The person's mind was extended as an extremely accurate remote viewer. This remote viewer basically has never failed us with a session. This person is extremely accurate in describing physically what's going on. Now, in addition to the physical description, he's saying there is a message being sent to someone who's listening. I already said that. There is some perception that some people may think of this as a weapon involved, and the decision of some important person that's evaluating and making decisions for many. And I'm interpreting that as probably being the President of the United States, and probably perceiving that this may be a weapon or something. He cannot make a national choice, but it is time, meaning he cannot yet make a national choice.
Wait, Doctor, wait. You're saying that the President of the United States or somebody high on may be viewing this, and they know about it, as a weapon.
Oh, they absolutely know about this, and they are wondering whether it is some kind of a weapon, and that he's not yet ready to make a national choice, but it is time to make that choice. The reality is it's not a weapon, but the point is that my interpretation of this session is that it's being perceived that that's a possibility.
They will look at it that way, of course.
They will look at it that way. Now, it's made of materials which are borrowed technology.
Borrowed.
People using technology don't understand it and may not open or direct it properly as a result. It's a project, let me see.
In other words, that says that since they don't fully understand it themselves, they borrowed the technology, they may misuse the technology, so those viewing it as possibly a national security threat could be correct.
No, there's nothing in this session to think of it as a national security threat.
Well, when you talk of a weapon or the possibility of a weapon,
this session's reading that as the perception of the people who are looking at it.
Or if you look at it this way, as somebody with technology they don't understand, you might equate it to a 6-year-old with a .38 in his hand. He doesn't know what it is.
I can't believe it.